following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Sindrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. Incredibly busy day. Just absolutely absurd how busy it is for, what is this, August the 2nd? Teams in training camp, baseball in full swing. Trust me when I tell you, we have got a ton to get into. Let's say hello to Coach Watson Brown, who joins us from up on the plateau. How are things up there?
George, they're really pretty up here, man. And don't you look nice today? And you're all spiffy and look like you're over your deal. I don't hear all the, I'm not going to use the word you use, but the
Snot Fest?
The Snot Fest looks gone.
It is?
You look good.
Wow. You might want to check for cataracts.
Well, I do have a problem with that.
Well, I can't help you with that, at least not in the next 2 hours. But
no, you can't.
Good to have you with us as well. Let me say hello very quickly to Father Ryan's finest. That would be Billy Derrick. Billy, how are you?
George, I am great. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in Nashville. We got a lot to talk about.
It is ridiculous, the stories that lead the update today. It is insane. Watson, are you ready?
I'm ready to roll, babe.
Well, you just hold on for a few minutes because I think we've got important issues before that. Doesn't Terry get top billing?
Terry gets top billing here, George, before the update.
Okay, so let's head out to Titans training camp for Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. Terry, the Titans are 9 days away from their first preseason game in Baltimore. Tell me what's going on out there today.
Well, George, the Titans had practice today, this morning, and certainly getting in some teamwork out here at St. Thomas Sports Park. It's one of those situations where they want to take a look at as many guys as they can. One of the guys who really stood out in the first team period was Racey McMath, second-year receiver from LSU. He had two outstanding touchdown grabs, both on deep passes. The second one looked like he may have knocked the wind out of him. He was out of action a little bit, but came back in and was able to finish. And Mike Vrabel's not one to heap a lot of praise on guys during practice, but he was pumped about what Racey McMath contributed in that first team period, George.
So, Terry, let's take that a little bit farther. In a wide receiver core that has a couple of question marks, where would he have fit in before today?
Well, he's a guy that his calling card last year when he was healthy was on special teams. And that's probably going to be a big part of his game again this year. But when you look at guys like Traylon Burks, who they feel like maybe is kind of an A.J. Brown type of player, in that a guy who can take a short pass, get yards after the catch. And you look at a veteran guy like Robert Woods, who is a guy that's going to make that tough catch in traffic and do those sorts of things for you. And then you've got the other rookie, Kyle Phillips, who is really a prototypical slot guy who's going to be a precise route runner. McMath gives them potentially something that they could use, which is a true deep threat to take the top off the defense. And even if the ball doesn't go his way, a safety or a corner is going to have to go with him and track him. And that opens things up underneath for everybody else. So if he can provide some of that type of stuff there when he's on the field, that would be a big, big plus for this passing game.
Terry, let me go to the quarterback room, and God forbid this happens, but the Titans have been very fortunate. Ryan Tannehill's durability has been incredible, especially a year ago, given the hits he took. If right now something happened to him, is it Logan Woodside over Malik Willis, or is that thing 50-50 and we decided in the preseason games.
No, right now it's Logan Woodside, and I don't think it's particularly close. Woodside's been here in this system for 3 years now. He's a guy that, even though he doesn't have a lot of games experience outside the preseason, I think they trust him with his knowledge of the offense and his knowledge of where everybody's supposed to be as far as the timing and everything like that goes. Malik Willis is kind of a wild card in all of this. He's a young guy. He's a rookie. He's still learning. He's a little bit in over his head, as most rookie quarterbacks are from the moment that they get into an NFL camp. He's in the situation right now, George, where in college, the open space to throw to a receiver might look like this. And then in the NFL, as you know, George, it looks like this. And he's got to start learning to trust himself to get it into that open window so that he can make those throws. That will probably come in time. But right now, every quarterback has a different tier, and Logan Woodside is clearly number 2 right now.
Yeah. Tell me this. On the defensive side, is there somebody making a move that is surprising the coaching staff?
I don't know if it's particularly a surprise because he was a second-round pick this year, but Roger Mccrary has had a really strong camp thus far over in that defensive secondary. He got his hand on about 4 different passes yesterday in team drills, 1-on-1, 7-on-7s, and every time you turned around, he was breaking something up. He's a guy that while Elijah Molden has been out with an ankle injury, he's a guy that probably is going to get some looks in that slot role, along with playing some on the outside. If their 3 guys this year, their main 3 guys happen to be Caleb Farley, Christian Fulton, and Roger Mccrary, I don't think they'll be too disappointed that would be the 3, especially if Elijah Molden continues to have that injury problem.
Terry, great stuff from you. Same time, same place tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Apparently need to remember.
George, go ahead. We got you back here.
Okay. So Watson, apparently the name Racy McMath is one we need to remember.
Evidently, George, I think that, and man, is that important. I still worry only about the secondary on defense. I think everything else is good, but I still think they got some improving to do back there, and it's going to take some more bodies. So this is good news to me.
Let's go to the update where we are full. I mean, a bunch of stories. We've had to narrow it down to 4 or 5. So, Billy, take it away.
George, all kinds of stories today, and we are, as always, sponsored by Justin Tucker Team with Platinum Realty Partners. They're proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker Team, call them at 615-906-8458. And also Sumner Funeral and Cremation, 4 o'clock hours, brought to you by those good folks. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need, now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified. All right, George, we start with, let's see, what are we starting here with here? George, Juan Soto for the Washington Nationals has been traded to the San Diego Padres, according to MLB Network, the biggest name on the market ahead of today's deadline. He had previously been made available in July after he declined that monster deal, or so-called deal, that the Nationals proposed to him. But Juan Soto is a San Diego Padre.
So among the prospects that San Diego is giving up is a young guy, Robert Hassel III, who went to Independence High School. Mm-hmm. He's a really good prospect. Eric Hosmer may or may not be a part of this deal because he's got the right to veto the trade. And given Washington's current state of affairs, if I'm Eric Hosmer, I stay out of there. But Watson, the bottom line is the Padres, they know they're in a tough deal with the Dodgers. You know, they've tried to go neck and neck with Los Angeles, and they're still, 12, 13 games out of first. Juan Soto is a line drive machine, and in that order, he could do some damage.
Explain to me, George, you're much more of a baseball major league guy than me in process and all that. What are they, with them that far back, why would they give up so much and as Juan Soto is only a year guy right now, right? They'd have to sign him. Does he become a free agent?
No, he's got 2.5 years left.
So they've got him for 2 more.
And knowing San Diego and their ownership, I believe they knew going in what it would take to get it done. He turned down 15 years at $440 million. So they know it's going to take over $30 million a year. And if they're able to ship out Eric Hosmer, because he was one of the big free agent signings a couple of years ago, you put Manny Machado and Juan Soto in a lineup together. Wow.
Look out.
So it looks like they're really going after the Dodgers here in the next 2 years, right? They're really making their move.
I think so. They're very frustrated that they have not been able to make up more ground. They're drawing really well at Petco, which means they got a lot of money available. And they've got a general manager in A.J. Preller who is go for the downs. And that's what happened today. Good for San Diego. And sort of happy he didn't end up with the Dodgers.
And don't you see this? I kind of see it then the way you explain it. This is a good deal for both.
Could be. The Nats
could help the Nats get started again.
Yeah, because that's a very depressed situation right now. And when Soto turned them down, you knew this was coming.
Yeah.
George, are we ready for item number 2?
We are. Numero dos.
We go to Live Golf, and it feels like every day we've said something about Live Golf. And Tiger Woods is in the news with Live, and he has reportedly turned down a $700 to $800 million dollar deal, whatever you want to call it, with Live Golf, according to CEO Greg Norman. So apparently I've heard he's turned it down, but that has been offered. So there's a lot of rumors swirling around about that.
I've got to believe, Watson, that the guys on the PGA Tour, when they hear that number, they realize, man, this guy truly has our back.
No, and I don't. This doesn't surprise me at all. All he's done, he gives up all of that to make the money. He's a billionaire already. He's making a whole lot of money every year as it is. If Tiger did that, and this was before the way I understand it from what Greg Norman said, he didn't offer this.
Right.
Whoever was in front of Greg is basically the one that had offered it, and Tiger turned it down. I just don't think Tiger wants to give up Ryder Cup majors. All he's done through the PGA Tour. He and Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer are really the 3 names of the tour history. He's not going to give that up, and he doesn't need money whatsoever.
No, these are deck chairs off his Queen Mary. Yeah. Item number 3.
Item number 3, George. Tennessee and Colorado basketball are going to be meeting each other Sunday, November 13th. An interesting battle there. That'll be, I'm guessing, at Bridgestone Arena. Yep. The contest will complete a 3-game series between the two teams that originally started during the pandemic. So Tennessee and Colorado in Nashville.
Well, here is where I think Tennessee is smart, Watson. They realize the landscape right now. Jerry Stackhouse has had absolutely zero fan whatever. Okay, and Vanderbilt basketball attendance is as low as it has been in my lifetime. So Tennessee rubs a little salt in the wound and says, hey, come see us. We win. We care. They're just kind of, rubbing it in Vandy's face.
If I'm Tennessee basketball, I'm not sure if I'm football, I leave Neyland Stadium. But if I'm Tennessee basketball, I wouldn't care about Vanderbilt. Tennessee, it's the state university, and I'd be wanting to dominate Nashville. I know that when I was at Vanderbilt, and it was Johnny Majors and me after a kid, it was hard to get him in that. If he's from Nashville, it's hard to get him. I got some, but I didn't win the percentages by any means. If I'm the University of Tennessee, I want to make sure my presence is in Nashville and Memphis. Football's a little different because 100,000 people and it's hard to leave that stadium to give up one of your games to come to Nashville every year or switch up between Nashville and Memphis every year. But basketball, absolutely. I would go back and forth one a year from Memphis and Nashville if I was them.
Listen to this final story.
Final story. The Miami Dolphins are in the news for not a good reason. The accusations have been made, and they were made by Coach Brian Flores in his racial discrimination lawsuit against NFL and teams. Flores accused the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, of offering him $100,000 per loss during the 2019 season in a failed attempt to secure the top pick in the 2020 draft. What a mess in Miami.
Well, first of all, Stephen Ross is a loose cannon. The league knows that. They have been watching him like a hawk. And we're going to find out as this story goes a little deeper that it involves tampering with Tom Brady, both when he was in New England and in Tampa, and apparently Sean Payton, who they wanted to be their head coach. And this is not a pretty picture at all.
No, it's not. But pretty good idea, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Go give Tom Brady a little bit of your franchise. Go give Sean Payton a little bit of your franchise and bring them both in as coach and player. I think somebody was smart that just kind of went about it the wrong way.
It was worth a shot.
I think it's a good idea myself.
Yeah, if you can't cheat, you're cheating yourself, huh?
If some way, I don't know how you get permission to talk to them or when you have to wait. But when the time came, I would have, if I'm sitting down there, that would have been something I would have gone after hard for my franchise.
I don't think old Steven waited. I think the rules or whatever he decides the rules are. Yeah. The one thing I said earlier is true. The league is watching him like a hawk. They know that some stuff's been going on, and today they have sort of lit him up like a Christmas tree. We have a great show for you. After the break, we will meet with 3 ICE Commissioner
Craig Patrick.
Yes, thank you. Why didn't I look up there to see that?
Shame on me. That far?
Oh, the glasses are strong.
Oh, okay.
They're very strong. Then later in the show, we'll meet up with Indiana University head football coach Tom Allen. In between that, a bunch of interesting stuff. So do not go away. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
I've done sports. I've been a photographer. I've been an editor. I've been a producer. I've been a reporter. I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
Now, I don't pretend to know a lot about this 3 ice concept. All I know is it's hockey in August. This Saturday, Bridgestone Arena. And to learn a little bit more, we sat down with Ice 3, or 3 Ice, as may be the case, Commissioner Craig Patrick. He's a former player and a former coach in the National Hockey League, and he has some incredible memories to share with us. Commissioner, thank you for taking the time. I guess the first thing I want to ask is, who came up with this idea? Because it seems really cool.
Yeah, it was, when the NHL started their 3-on-3 overtime, most teams had rookie camps in the following years. And in all those rookie camps, they'd play 3-on-3 tournaments. And E.J. Johnson, who's the son of Eddie Johnson, who played in the NHL and is a goaltender, coach, general manager, grew up in a hockey family, obviously, but his career path really took him down sports management, and he did fashion shows for Hollywood. And that was his background, TV and marketing. And he went to these rookie camps, one in Pittsburgh and one in New Jersey, and said all the people were sitting on the edge of their seat watching these no-name rookies play this 3-on-3 game. And he said it was amazing how interesting and entertaining it was. And he said to himself at the time, wow, this would be great for TV. So he did some research and decided he was going to go ahead with it. And he hired a bunch of people on the business side. This is like 5 years ago. And 2 years ago, he approached his dad and myself and said, hey, would you guys be interested in helping out on the hockey side? So that's how it all got started, and it is really entertaining. And I give EJ all the credit because he put it all together piece by piece and did a great job.
Who did you end up approaching as far as players to actively get involved in this?
We approached former NHL players, first of all, and then guys that were playing in Europe, and then guys that were coming out of college. So we have a mixture of players from all walks of hockey. And it's been, I thought it was going to be a great product, and it's much better than I expected.
Obviously, people here are very excited. Nashville has turned out, in my opinion, to be a great hockey market. How did you all come to pick us?
I wasn't part of that process, but I know they talked to a lot of facilities around the country, and Nashville came up for sure as one of the top 8 we wanted to be in. So fortunately, we're going to be there this weekend.
So when I asked the question earlier off air about players who are available, kind of run through the mix of what it is we're going to see player wise.
In terms of we do have some former NHL players. Actually, one guy signed with us, but has subsequently signed back with the NHL, so he's not with us right now. But we have, as I mentioned, guys that played in North America and wanted to go to Europe and continue their careers, so they're part of the mix as well. And then guys that just popped out of college. Like one of our top scorers is a kid out of St. Cloud State. He's just getting out into the pro career.
Craig, you all have TV is part of this. Are you pleasantly surprised at the kind of interest that networks have shown? And then let's talk, I guess, after that about the fan interest in it.
Okay, sure. When we dropped our puck June 18th in Las Vegas, we were in 185 countries. We're on CBS Sportsnet here, and then our championships are on CBS Prime. In Canada, we're on TSN and RDS, which is French. And then ESPN International is carrying us in 183 countries. So we've got lots of interest from the TV people, and it's been really rewarding.
Yeah, that's terrific. Where do you hope to take this in the future? What are the prospects down the road?
EJ is hoping that we go globally. We're on TV globally now, but we want to have 3 Ice Europe. We want to have 3 Ice Asia for all, but the other thing that he really wants to do is get into the youth programs, have 3 Ice Youth, and kind of run it like baseball does the Little League World Series, and have that the same type of thing throughout the earth, throughout the universe. And that's his goal right now. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's his goal down the road.
I got to ask you this before we run. I remember it vividly. I was, I think, 19 years old. I was working at a radio station, watching from the newsroom. It was a late Friday afternoon when the United States upset the Soviet Union in the '80 Olympics. You were right there. Give me a few memories of what stick out for you.
Well, it was the thing that really stuck out with me, and frankly the Russians as well, is that we outskated them. We were in better shape and outskated them in that game. And to this day, the Russians said, we never thought you could ever skate with us, because they were renowned for being the most trained athletes at the time. But we were in that particular year, we were the best conditioned team on the planet in any sport. And that's why we beat them.
I want to take this a little farther, if it's okay. I know there was an exhibition, Soviet Union, United States, at Madison Square Garden. It's been shown on various film footage, and it wasn't very pretty for the Americans. So you all as a coaching staff had to somehow get these guys to believe, look, in spite of what happened, we can beat them. How did you do it?
Well, there's a little history that goes with that. We played a bunch of Russian teams, but we never played the Red Army team, the team we were going to face in the Olympics. And that was the first time we saw them as a young team in 1980. And we literally watched them for a period and a half, and it was 7-0 after a period and a half. And then we started to play, and the last half of the game, the score was 3-3. So we showed ourselves that we could skate with them once we stopped watching them. And that's what Herb used when we were facing them in the Olympic Games, that we could skate with them. We proved it already.
Here's one of the things that a lot of people my age have forgotten. That felt like the gold medal. But the truth of it is, it wasn't. It was almost like an NCAA tournament upset on a Friday, and that team that pulls the upset has to get themselves back up by Sunday. In basketball's case, it might be to play Virginia Tech. In your case, it was to play Finland. How hard was that to pull off?
Well, Herb treated it like it was just another game. But in reality, we were down 2-1 after 2 periods to Finland. And Herb went and gave a very motivational speech, and then came out to me in the hallway and said, Craig, they stopped listening to me. You go talk to them. So I thought, no, that's crazy. Why would I? Anyway, I went in there. I said 2 words. I said, hey, guys. And they all jumped up and said, shut up, Craig. We haven't done this for 7 months to lose to the Finns. We're going to win. And they were all jumping up and down and like getting on my case. So I walked back out in the hall, and Herb said, how'd it go in there? I went, oh, we're good. We got it. So they went out and scored 3 goals to win.
Craig, what have reunions been like? I'm sure there have been some of this team, and I'm guessing you've been a part of them. What's that been like?
It's awesome. We just finished one in Minnesota a month ago. It was great. Sit down, and it's just like even though we're 42 years older, it was just like we're the same back in the locker room back 42 years ago. So it's been great.
Good.
Billy, I think we're good. Craig, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, very interesting stuff, Watson. I had never heard the concept that the United States was simply in better shape.
No, it surprised me that he said that, but you watch the movie Miracle on Ice and he killed them. I mean, he ran them, and they're on the ice and on the ice and on the ice, sprints on the ice. That doesn't surprise me after he said it. I don't think enough credit's given to him for winning the game after that. That is really hard to do. I mean, my gosh, all the way into game time of Finland, George, all they're hearing is pat on the back and the Miracle on Ice. It's the biggest upset in the United States history. And you got a big game against a really good team to play. Pros. These are, we got college kids still playing pro guys. And I just don't think enough has ever been said about that because that was a huge win, every bit as big a win as the Russian win.
Well, let me try it this way. If they had not beaten Finland and they end up with the silver medal, do you think the reaction to what happened 2 days earlier would have been significantly less?
A whole lot less. When you don't get the whole ball of wax, you're not going to get credit, but well, it's just one of them flukes and we upset the Russians, and it wouldn't have been near the story that it's been. I don't think there'd have been movies done about it and all that if we had not won the gold medal.
3 Ice is on Saturday at Bridgestone Arena. It sounds like a really cool concept. Looking forward to hearing how that all turns out. And, of course, tickets are available for the event. You can contact Bridgestone Arena in the box office for more info. When we come back, some really crazy NFL notes, beginning with the latest bombshell in the Deshaun Watson case. This is Main Street Media Television.
Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Durad Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuradRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuradRadonMitigation.com.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local, and I think Main Street media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years. And keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers, and that's what I like about Main Street media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrate on local subjects, local topics, and you'll bring your readers in.
Okay, I brought it up earlier that it's been an incredibly busy Tuesday in the sports world. I don't know that I've seen as many big stories that have popped. And so we go to NFL notes with all of the training camps getting started. And right off the bat is a big old bombshell. So, you ready, Billy?
I'm ready, George. Jeff Darlington, according to Jeff Darlington, Deshaun Watson is prepared to sue the NFL after, of course, we saw everything that happened yesterday. So Watson's ready to sue.
Oh, that's not Watson Brown.
Not Watson Brown.
No. Watson, let's go deeper into this. The NFL's got about 48 more hours to make their decision on whether to take over the case and basically say that the woman that they helped appoint, Sue Robinson, doesn't have the credibility to make the decision. Watson's team has gotten it out there, obviously, to Jeff Darlington, that if Roger Goodell so much as thinks about doing it, they're going to sue.
I don't think they have a choice, George, that if the person that the NFL appoints to take care of this does it, then after she does it, they come back and say, well, we don't like what you did. You can't sit there and just take that on the chin. I think you legally have to go after that.
Well, let me take this a little farther, though. Deshaun Watson is part of a National Football League Players Association that agreed to this. They agreed to this in collective bargaining. And now all of a sudden that it's not going to go the way they want it if the NFL decides to intervene, then he's going to sue. Doesn't a judge end up saying, wait a minute, you are part of a group that agreed to this, deal with it?
Yeah, but you can look at that two ways. I don't know how a judge looks at it. If the other thing is, if the NFL legally sets it up, this is who we want to make the call, and yet we've got a right to overrule it. Why in the world is she there in the first place?
Oh,
why don't you just lay down your own law and go about it? And this one, I just think you've got to take this to court. They may get it thrown out, but if I'm Deshaun's camp, I just think you've got to take this to court if the NFL overrules it. And it will be interesting to see what the players union says if they overrule it.
Here's the goofy part of this. Billy, remember you heard this from your BGA teacher. You ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Your daddy.
Say that again.
That's too far.
I said your daddy.
Exactly. You liked that, didn't you?
That's too far, Watson.
Oh, wow. Suddenly he turns on you a little bit and you don't like it.
Oh, well.
Wow. We're not going that far.
That's the way it goes.
Okay. So there is a scenario out there. Let's say the NFL in 2 days makes the decision, we're going to take over this case. And all of a sudden, this thing ends up in court the way Darlington has reported. Well, one of the things that could happen is that the initial suspension, the 6-game suspension of Deshaun Watson, temporarily goes out the window, and he ends up playing in the first 6 games, and then he has to depend on what the court rules.
Yes, that is a possibility. And but that's taking a heck of a chance by Deshaun. If you play in those games, then you're going to be out the next 6 games, even if they win the case. And does he want that? Does he want to play the first 6 and then be out the next 6? Because he's going to get suspended for 6 games. So if I'm him, I'm not sure I would do that. But this whole thing,
it's a mess.
I don't remember one, George, like this, because nobody was charged. This is all civil. And I don't remember anything like this. So it's going to be real interesting to see where it goes. I'm still not sure the commissioner is going to overrule it.
Well,
do you think he's going to?
Well, I think there are 2 things in play here, Watson. Number one, I think the last thing on earth he wanted was a ruling that might make him have to jump back in. Because let's face it, even though he's making $44 million a year and life can't be all that hard at that number, he has gotten ripped to shreds for a lot of the decisions he's made, right?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And so he's probably a little bit gun shy right now to go down this road. But on the other hand, the league is adamant. I don't know what they know. I don't have the file, but it's apparent based on stuff they have put out there that they don't think Deshaun Watson deserves the right to play in this league for a year. They've done everything but fly a helicopter over and say, you should be out a year. I mean, they've made no secret of it. So obviously they're not happy with how any of this is playing out.
Well, and they're catching grief right now.
Yes, they are.
They're catching grief at how are you going to let this stand? So he's in a tough spot. I still wonder if he's going to touch it. I just this is a woman judge who said Deshaun Watson did these things. She didn't deny it, and yet this was the punishment. So she didn't take up and say, well, there's not enough information here to know if he did this or not. She said, yes, he did these things. So in my opinion, and yet that was the punishment. So with her saying that, I'm not sure where he goes, and it's not going to be very good the next time he has to appoint somebody to do this. It's not going to look good at all. The next time he's going to catch grief and say, why are you appointing somebody?
Right. The next one is going to tell him, listen, you can take your appointment and shove it because you will play both sides against the middle.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're never going to get anybody again to do that.
No, that's why I just still not sure he's going to touch it. I'm still not sure.
Okay. Last thing on the Deshaun Watson situation. I brought it up yesterday. Jacoby Brissett, in theory, in the first 6 games, he's going to play. If he were to get hurt, his backup is either Josh Rosen or former University of Tennessee player Joshua Dobbs. Watson, do you have any confidence in either one of them that they could win a game if put in that position?
I have more confidence in Dobbs than Rosen.
Tell me why.
Just the way I feel. I've not seen Josh Rosen
really
live up to anything.
He hasn't done anything the past few years.
I haven't seen him to live up to anything, to what he was supposed to be when he came into the league. And I've seen Josh Dobbs even do some good things in the league. And I just loved him as a college player because he was such a winner and a tough kid and just did a lot on his own. I would go Josh Dobbs over Josh Rosen any day of the week.
Big spot for Josh Dobbs. He's probably licking his chops right now.
Yep, he's got a shot right here to prove himself to get back in the league in a stronger way.
Yeah, because he has bounced to several teams over these last 5 years. Go to item number 2, and I'll give out the hint. the Cowboy flag is at half staff.
James Washington out 6 to 10 weeks. A guy that, I mean, who knows where he was in their depth chart at receiver. But, I mean, that's another guy that they couldn't really afford to lose.
So, Watson, it's not as though he was Jerry Rice. But all of a sudden, the move a year ago by the Cowboys to get rid of Amari Cooper looks really dumb, because all of a sudden they're really thin at a position 12 months ago that was a huge strength. CeeDee Lamb is number 1, and Billy might be number 2 for all we know.
Yeah, I look for some trade of some kind here. Or they're going after Odell Beckham Jr. hard, and they have the money to spend. I guess I don't know what their cap space left is or anything like that now, but Lord knows he's got the money to spend if the NFL rules will let him. But they're going to do something. They're not going to sit and wait for him to get back. I'd lean toward the 6 weeks over 10. What they can do with these breaks now with the screws and the different things that they can do, George, you get back much quicker than you used to. But they're not going to wait. They're going to bring somebody in.
Okay, let me take that one step further. You brought up the best name that is available right now, if you want to call it, in free agency. Anybody could go get Odell Beckham Jr. He had a really good Super Bowl, although he got hurt in the game. Watson, is he worth the Cowboys saying, tell us what you want?
Yes, because from what I hear, they think this is their best team in a while, and in a long while with the Cowboys. And he's caught so much grief that he hadn't been back to the Super Bowl since Barry Switzer left. And I just think he'll do whatever to get himself there. I think it'll be worth it.
Billy, I would stack half of Austin, Texas, and Dallas, the Metroplex, in the box early in the season. Ezekiel left, Ezekiel right, and let's find out what he's got.
Just feed Zeke.
I don't see the Zeke of old, though, guys.
No, I don't either.
I don't see the quickness. I think he's about worn out, and that's what I worry. NFL running backs, that NFL truly means that, not for long. Yeah. Those guys now, they might not get hurt, but they get beat on so much that they lose it. They lose the quickness and the speed a little bit. That's what I see in Ezekiel.
Let's check in on the world champions before we end it.
The world champion LA Rams, they're banged up. They're just like Watson said, they are banged up. Van Jefferson, who played really well in the postseason last year, and Matthew Stafford are both banged up right now. They're not participating in training camp. So a little bit of a slow start to the early preseason for the Rams.
So Watson, does it concern you at all that in an off season where a quarterback should be getting healthy, that Stafford reports with arm issues?
The elbow concerns me more than a shoulder because, man, you can get serious injuries in your elbow. I don't think it is, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I'll bet he sits a week, 10 days or something. He's been at it so long. He's seen it all. I think they'll be on the wayside of protecting him. Isn't it amazing that the two Super Bowl quarterbacks both aren't practicing at the start of this year? Burrow had an appendectomy, and Stafford is out. That's amazing, isn't it? Injuries in football, guys, more than any sport. It can change your team so fast. Football, just flip coins in football. Injuries can make a good team become a poor team really quickly.
Okay, after the break, we have Stat of the Day. Then we'll meet up with Indiana University football coach Tom Allen. So we've got a busy Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for being with us on Main Street Media Television.
Since 1865, The First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelley Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really appreciate this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
I've done sports. I've been a photographer. I've been an editor. I've been a producer. I've been a reporter. I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Back. Big Tuesday, a lot of stuff happening. It's crazy. But one thing that remains consistent, stat of the day.
Stat of the day.
Whatever. What do we got?
Are we ready for the stat of the day for today?
Watson, were you cheating?
Watson's looking up some answers.
No, I was texting my wife, to be very honest. So.
Well, if the answer turns out to be Brenda Brown.
She's not here, and I'm saying, where's the wife?
Well,
you caught me in the act. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, but let's try the question. She might be a good answer.
All right, here we go.
Better than us.
Stat of the day is brought to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards. They specialize in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit JohnEnglishGradedCards.com. And the stat of the day for today, we're going baseball. What two players recorded the biggest height differential between a pitcher and a batter in an MLB game? Biggest height differential between a pitcher and a batter.
You got to be kidding.
That's a challenge.
But
this is a math exam for George back at BGA.
It's one thing not to be good at this. It's another to get questions like this.
Oh, yeah, this has
got to be Johnson against who, George?
Well, let's try to tackle this a little bit. Okay, here's an easy take on it that probably is not the right answer. Remember Eddie Goodell, the midget that Bill Veeck put into a game, the only midget that has ever appeared in a Major League Baseball game?
He was actually a midget.
Try to get him to walk, yes.
I'm trying to think how long ago that was.
That's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
No, that happened.
Eddie Goodell is that's a real deal.
That's crazy.
And the way they kept that quiet is amazing. I don't think that's it because I've never heard anything that indicates, that the pitcher was huge. Although that may be. You got to at least help me.
The pitcher. This is pretty recent.
Okay, then it's not Eddie Goodell.
This is within the last.
It's got to be Randy Johnson, don't it?
Well, hold on here.
He's the tallest one we've had.
It could be right now. The shortest Major League player is Jose Altuve.
Boom. That's the hitter, George.
Okay. Now, Watson, Altuve could be a series of people. If it's Altuve, it's probably not Randy Johnson. Chris Young, who now is the Texas Rangers general manager, 6'10" tall. It seems like there's another pitcher, and I cannot think of him. And that's not a very good answer, but it's Altuve. And I don't know. Watson, if you got anything, help me here.
I have no clue who the taller pitchers in today's world even are.
Chris Young is one that sticks out, but
you did good with Altuve. That's good.
Yeah, he's 5'5".
Yep.
Yeah.
Astros apparently lied about it for a while and tried to put him at 5'7". Who is the other? I don't know.
The other is John Roush.
Oh,
Roush
yeah.
I don't know is he still with the Marlins?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's still with the Marlins, but that was the matchup when he was on the Marlins and Altuve, of course, there. You can tell how small he is in that picture on the bottom right.
So old John may have been tall, but that didn't guarantee he was any good.
No. I wonder who won that matchup. We should go back and look at that. Roush versus Altuve.
Oh, I bet they faced each other more than once. I don't think this is a one-shot deal necessarily, although Roush was a reliever.
I think Watson's right, though. Randy Johnson's probably he's
close.
In there for the second.
Yeah.
You know, he's second place.
But I can't think of anybody in his heyday that was as small or anywhere near as small as Altuve.
No. That's what makes it tough.
Pretty amazing story if you really think about it, that Altuve, Watson at 5'5". Think about all the scouts that blew him away simply on height and said, not even discussable.
Not even height, George. Power. He's got so much power for his size. I mean, when he winds that bat up, man, and he makes contact, it's pretty now. That ball jumps off that bat.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much cheating there was involved, but
back off.
He's still a really good player.
Get the trash can out. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a sound effect.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. In honor of the Astros.
Man.
Okay. So we go to the 5 o'clock hour, if you will. Although, am I seeing Brian in the background? I think I am.
Yeah, we got it.
Hey, Brian.
Let's just say hello to Brian.
We're ending the 4 o'clock with Brian.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Brian, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, George. How's it going?
Did you know the answer?
No, I did not know the answer because honestly, I would have never thought of John Rush, but that is a huge disparity right there with size difference. That is crazy. But it's like Susan Sarandon said in Bull Durham, with Jose Altuve, with the power, it's all in the hips, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, and she proved it in that movie.
That's right. That's right. She's a baseball aficionado.
Tell us, moving on really quick here. Tell us what's going on in your business.
Well, I literally just got done taking care of some property management, and that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. One Stop Realty, like I said before, has been around since 1974. We specialize in residential real estate. We do commercial. We do the property management, and that's something that a lot of people overlook as an option when you're talking to clients and everything is, having that option of property management. Some people are not ready to get rid of their home. They want to keep it in their family, have their kids take it over, so forth, so on. There's a lot of reasons why person might not be ready to sell. Well, property management is a way for us to basically take the problems away from the homeowner, take care of putting a tenant in there for them. We vet them. We take care of collecting the rent. We send the checks to the owner, and basically like we call it, mailbox money for the owner. All they have to do is collect a check each month. It's just a great way for somebody that wants to keep that property in their possession to have a residual income coming in each month.
What did you call it? Mailbox money?
That's mailbox money.
I love it. I love it. Tell people how they can reach you.
615-822-0750 is our office number. 615-440-7011 is my cell. OneStopRealtyTN.com is our website. And as always, please check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I would love to see y'all like and follow us and make sure that we can help with all your real estate needs.
Beautiful. Brian, you have a good rest of the day.
George, Watson, Billy, y'all have a great show, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, we're now officially into the 5 o'clock hour. And, you've heard from three of us during most of the show. Obviously, yours truly, Watson Brown, Billy Derrick. There is a fourth who will join us in January. That's Michael Cindric, who is getting ready to start a 6th year of college football at Harding University. Pretty amazing when you think about it, 6 years. But anyway, a couple of days ago, he caught up with Indiana football coach Tom Allen, and here is that interview.
Since 1994, went and did some study, Coach. You had one winning season really since you took over the helm since 1994, and you guys have had 2 winning seasons in the last 3 years. I just want to ask, what was there a game or a moment that something kind of turned the corner for you just in developing your team and culture that you've been able to see some success really at a level that Indiana hadn't had for a while?
Yeah, it's been a process. As you mentioned, I got here in 2016 as defensive coordinator, and my first year as head coach was 2017. And we had 2, tough years, back-to-back years. We came down to the final game. We were 5-6 going into the bucket game and had to win that game to get to a bowl game and have a chance to have a winning season, and fell short both of those times. And so the 2019 off season leading up to that, I thought that was kind of the turning point for us, and our leadership really took off in regards to the players taking ownership of the team and understanding what that meant. And that leadership by example wasn't good enough for a guy in that role. It needed to be action. It needed to be words. It needed to be calling my teammates out and holding them accountable when things weren't done the right way, not just the coaches. And so saw that happen leading into 2019. And I would say there was a couple games that year that really stuck out. I think the first one was Maryland stuck out to me, being able to win a road game in a situation where we had the defense had to rise up, get a key stop at the end to secure the win, and then got a big road win at Nebraska. I just think those kind of wins really allow you to gain confidence. And games we had lost in the past and not found ways to win those, and then finish off with a double overtime win against our rival Purdue to finish out the regular season. So that to me was the beginning of it. And then you had a 2020 season that was historic here, things that hadn't happened in over 50 years, So it's just been a process of building this program. And yeah, last year wasn't what any of us expected or what we want here now and what we have as our current standard. And so you learn from that, you make adjustments, and you press on.
Absolutely. Coach, take me through that 2020 season for just a second. Describe to me, you guys had some crazy wins there that were pretty historic for the program. What was it like being in the middle of that? Did you realize kind of what was going on in the middle, or was it afterwards you looked back and it was just, wow, I can't believe that happened? And what was that like for your team?
Yeah, probably a little more afterwards because, think about what we were going through. The pandemic was crazy for everybody and all the different procedures and protocols and unique things that created for us and how our day was so, different than it had been in the past. And so, but then you start playing the games, and then we got that first one right out of the gate against the Penn State here at home and win it in the way we won in the last seconds and, drive even the 75. People talk about that 2-point play, but the 75-yard drive, in about a minute and a half, to score and then go for two just to get it to overtime was unbelievable, and so just so proud of our guys. But I just think the biggest thing was we got a chance to live out what we've been talking about for the last couple of years. And it's one thing to say it, but when you experience it, it gives you an unbelievable amount of confidence, and it just sears that belief in you. And all the things we had saying that we thought we could do, we started doing. And teams we thought we could beat, we started beating. And it was just an amazing season for us for sure. But I think it let our guys know this is what we can become. And I get it. The season was a unique year and the different things going on for everybody. But I will say our guys took advantage of it, and we stayed really close together. I think the culture of our program really elevated itself, and its strength kind of showed out and helped us be able to rise above the issues that were going on in our country at the time.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it there, culture. That seems like the buzzword right now. Everybody talks about it, but how many teams actually have it? Coach, what is culture? What is Indiana football culture? Teams talk about that and that being their strength, and you mentioned it right there. How would you describe your team's culture?
Well, first of all, the way I even just define the word itself is what do you feel pressure to do when you join a team, when you join an organization as a coach or a player, and for us it's football, what do you feel pressure to do when you're a part of that team now? And what are the established standards that the players are able to uphold and infuse within their teammates and then the coaching staff? And so you try to recruit guys, both coaches and players, that fit that culture, can help enhance it and make it better. And so for me, we use the phrase love each other. That's kind of how it's branded. But the true culture is accountability, toughness, and love. Those are our three pillars. And I believe you want to build a great organization in anything, sports, business, church, family, whatever. It's about having a great foundation of accountability, toughness, and love. Because, man, you got to hold people accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. You got to hold your players as coaches and each other as players, side by side. And then the toughness piece. You got to have an edge about you. You got to be physically, mentally tough to be great in this life, be great in this great game of football. And then to me, love's what holds it together. That's the secret sauce. That's the thing. Man, those players, when they know you love them way more as a person than as a football player, I think things change in this profession and this great game of football. Why? Because it's so easy to just be, hey, I get treated a certain way when I perform at a certain level. But when I don't, I get treated different. Shouldn't be that way. They got to know they have value outside of this game. And that's easy to say, and it's hard to live out. And it takes building relationships over time, day after day, and proving them that statement is really true.
That's good, Coach. Thank you. Talk to me a little bit about that. I love accountability, college football, but also, Coach, talk to me about the creation of how you kind of came up with those three pillars for you.
Yeah, well, I'd say first of all, just talking about our program, I just over time, I'm a big believer in teaching in threes. I think it's a manageable unit, but it's multiple, but it's not too complex to dilute your emphasis. And so you have three pillars that hold up. It's like a tripod that holds everything together. And I looked at my life and the things I studied and what I believe in, and I'm a person of faith, and I use God's word and I find those principles there, and even LEO, it's taken from Scripture, John 15:12, about that we're commanded to love each other the way that the good Lord first loved us and cared about us, and so to me, I just think when you deal with people that you have to, we're all better when we're held accountable. We're all better when we understand that, hey, my decisions affect not just me, they affect everybody around me, as a coach, as a player, as everyone that's part of this program. That's where the accountability piece is so huge. And then the toughness to me is just like, how can you play this great game of football if you're not tough? You got to be physically tough, that's obvious, but you got to be mentally tough. And that to me is the ability to make quality decisions over and over again. So I kind of found what are the key things that you got to emphasize, because you only can emphasize so many things. That's why I like threes, because it's simple, but yet it's able to be broad enough to be effective. And then the love piece. I mean, to me, when you think about, I listen to a lot of coaches talk. I read a lot of books. I'm a big reader. And I studied even back to Vince Lombardi. I mean, he talked about, man, his best teams, and they had love for one another. And I think about the teams I was a part of that were great. And as a coach, I've coached for 30 years now, and the best teams I've been a part of, man, they had a connection with each other. They cared about each other. They loved each other. They really, truly, it was not about themselves. And so, and you mentioned that it's kind of shifting a little bit, and there's a lot of things, even the rules that we're creating with the portal and NIL, it can be a little bit more about the individual. But don't ever forget this. This is a team sport, and the best team, that's who wins on game day. I understand the individuals make up that team, and the talent you have is critical, and we're a lot smarter coaches when we got better players. But in this game of football, the best team is going to win on game day. So our goal is to build the best team. And I think that's the way you do it, is by having those things we believe in. You can package it different ways, but at the end of the day, you better have a football team that loves one another, cares about one another, and is going to live their lives and make decisions with others in their perspective as they make those choices. Because if I make it all about me, I think it leads to a shallow life that doesn't have near the meaning that it does when you have somebody you're doing it with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach, talk to me. 2019, 2020, you guys had, phenomenal seasons. Take a step back this past year, Coach. What's it look like for your team as a way to, what's it look like this offseason, the way you guys have worked out and prepared for this upcoming season and the way they respond? What's been, your coach's message, in response to this 2021 season?
Yeah, we're not one of those teams that were looking to make excuses. We tried to own the things that happen and figure out why they happen and make changes, and so I believe if you want to get a different outcome of something that you want in your life, you got to change what you do every day. So we looked at the things we were doing every single day, made some changes, and did some things to really build a more connected team to help us maximize that. And I will say that we had an unprecedented amount of injuries, and those injuries are real, and they're not excuses. They're just, it's hard. We don't have the depth to maybe sometimes handle some of those. And it just seemed like every time we turned around, another key guy was going down. And even some key guys that are back this year, like Tywan Mullen and Devon Matthews, those guys missed almost the whole year last year. And those guys are critical pieces to our whole defense. And so you could go on and on. But at the same time, what I love is the fact we got a core guys that, man, they recognize this is not how we're going to finish. And they were part of 2019. They were part of 2020. They were part of 2021, left a terrible taste in their mouth. And they came to me as soon as the season was over and said, Coach, this isn't going to happen again. And so, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of people deciding what we can do and cannot do this year. That doesn't matter to me. We got earmuffs and blinders on. This team's got an edge about it. This team is very, very focused. This team's been working their tails off since January. And all that matters is what do we do each week during the season? Doesn't matter what happened last year. Doesn't matter what's going to happen next year. It's what do we do each and every week of this season. And we'll take it one at a time. I love our football team, but we got a lot to prove. And I want our team to stay that way, hungry, just absolute chip on your shoulder, something to prove every time we take the field.
Well, Coach, you can see it just in the way you're getting me fired up, ready to get on the field and go play, Coach. I really appreciate even you taking the time. We could talk for hours, I'm sure, about NIL, about conference realignment, the transfer portal. But, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to really talk about the core of football. It's culture. It's having a bunch of guys that believe in each other. And, Coach, I'm rooting you on. I've got my Indiana red on right here, rooting you guys on, Coach. I really appreciate it, and best of luck to you this season. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Well, you're very welcome. Have an awesome day. Leo.
Coach. Okay, thank you.
Very interesting stuff there with Tom Allen. Watson, the bottom line is he got Indiana to a level a couple of years ago with a very fine quarterback in Michael Penix. They got to 8-5. They played and lost to Tennessee in the Gator Bowl. A lot of people will remember that game, but they slipped last season. And one of the things that makes me really appreciate, because teams like Indiana can get there once. Vandy can have a year where everything goes right. But this guy at Kentucky, Mark Stoops, has beaten this whole thing and is now doing it consistently, which is what Indiana wants to do.
Yeah, and that's a tough step. Getting it there one time is tough. It's tough. Keeping it there consistently is double tough, maybe triple tough. So many things come into play with that. When the expectations go up after you finally reach that point, are you ready for that? Is your program ready for that yet? And I can remember when I went to one school and said, I want to win a championship here. And so we set it up to win a championship and had it again the next year. So many back, and then injuries just destroyed it. We had 42 players miss games and had 26 surgeries on this one team. So there's so many variables, George, in keeping it going. I think that's why it's not just on the coach. It's on everybody to be involved with the coach and give him every ample opportunity with coaching staff, salaries, facility. You got to hit it all. You got to hit it all to keep it going. You nearly got to hit it all to even get there once. But I know you got to have it all behind you to keep it going consistently year after year, because the other thing that happens, in my opinion, you kind of snuck up on some to get there. Then they're looking for you the next go around. And they got payback is, we know the 5-letter word that goes with that. And I think that's another step you got to get past, because those people you're playing are going to be different looking at you the next go around. So it won't work just with a coach. It won't work just with a coach and culture. You got to have it all together. What he said was a lot of the things that I've believed forever as a head coach and the way I want my teams to be. I use 4 words or 4 letters in the word team. He's got 3. A lot of it the same. That is dead on important, but that you got to have it all. It can't just be culture. There's got to be great players there, and you got to have depth. And that don't happen without a 100% commitment in all directions.
You got that right. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Indiana. Our thanks to Coach Tom Allen for the interview. After the break, it has been a busy 48 hours for my baseball team. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I've done sports. I've been a photographer. I've been an editor. I've been a producer. I've been a reporter. I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I've done sports, I've been a photographer, I've been an editor, I've been a producer, I've been a reporter, I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, man, it has been an incredibly busy day. First of all, with the baseball trade deadline looming, the Padres get the big fish. They get Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals for about 4 or 5 prospects, one of whom is Robert Hassel III, who went to Independence High School. So, first of all, we wish Robert a lot of luck. Don't be surprised if deep into the night this trade gets a little screwy because Eric Hosmer may or may not agree to be a part of it and join the Nats. He's got a big free agent contract from about 2.5 years ago with the Padres. But anyway, there's more going on than just that. Watson, my team, the defending world champion Atlanta Braves, and don't you forget it, have been incredibly busy in the last 36 hours. You ready?
Yeah.
The first thing they did, not that one. Hold on a second. Let's take that off. And Watson, put us back on because we look so good.
Boy. Whew.
Can't get it.
Let's don't run a poll on that one, please.
No, let's don't. Okay. So the first move here on my trusty little piece of paper was to get rid of Robinson Cano, who, as I very accurately stated yesterday, Watson, the single best thing he did for the Braves was catch the first ball ceremony Saturday night by Braves now Hall of Famer Joe Torre.
Real nice cheap shot. Yeah, good.
Wow. Okay. Here's another one. They've traded for Eje Adrianza. Yeah.
Can you spell it? Yeah, you can because he was there before, right? So you can.
Starts with an A. Starts with an A. Now let's get to the meat of what has been going on here. It really is amazing what Alex Anthopoulos gets done. I don't know if this guy ever sleeps. They have traded Will Smith, who recorded the final out last year in the World Series, to the Houston Astros for Jake Odorizzi. Let's talk about that for a minute. Will Smith, for whatever reason, they had lost total confidence in. He was deep in pitch counts. He was getting hit really hard. And Brian Snitker basically relegated him back toward 6th and 7th inning stuff. I wish nothing but the best for him in Houston, but I like the move of getting rid of Will Smith. It's a really good bullpen that I don't think needs him.
Well, yeah, he was good the year before. It's amazing, isn't it, George? And I'll just quickly say this, how sometimes a change of venue just turns people on, completely can turn a year around. And so let's hope that happens for Will Smith. I think he's a very good pitcher. I hate to see it go, but I understand why he did.
As for Jake Odorizzi, I would think this is a guy that 50-50, maybe less, would be on their playoff roster at the end of the year. He's a free agent at the end of the season. I don't think they have any thoughts of signing him long-term. But Watson, what I do think this is a little bit of insurance if Ian Anderson goes south again, but more, in my opinion, the fact that they really don't know what to think right now on Mike Soroka.
Oh, and that's absolutely why he's brought in. And you give up a good player in Will Smith to do this. So I think they're concerned that they may be a pitcher short or a pitcher and a half short. And that's not good. So this was a good move, in my opinion. As soon as I looked at the bio of both of them, I said, yeah, they're needing another starter. They're needing a long midterm guy, maybe. That's what they're doing.
The word is innings eater.
Innings eater.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. And they do need it. They do.
You saw me yesterday say that I think they need an outfielder because of the injury to Adam Duvall. So they went out very late last night and got Robbie Grossman from the Detroit Tigers. I would describe Grossman as a fourth outfielder who has some ability. He'd been starting with the Tigers. Don't think he'll do a lot of starting with the Braves. Serviceable, not long-term.
Well, and I think they're looking at his history, and because he's batting .206, I mean, he's not had a good year at all. But the change of venue sometimes can bring them in and get them motivated, and they come in and end up helping your team. So that's what I think they're looking at here. He's been a good player. We all know that, but he's not having a good year.
Here's the one that surprises me. Not that the Braves did it, but because of the timing. With the trade deadline going, all of a sudden, they apparently had enough time to work a deal with Austin Riley. So let's go ahead and put the graphic up here. Late yesterday afternoon, after our show was over, Austin Riley agreed to 10 years, $212 million. Now, Watson, as crazy as the money sounds, anybody and everybody in baseball was saying the same thing. If Austin Riley went free agency at this moment, he'd get a heck of a lot more than 21.2 per year.
Yeah, but he got 10 years. So he's secure now for the rest of his playing time.
Right.
And that overruled. I think he took that over more money for a lot less years, like 4 years or something like that. And that's probably what he'd get with somebody else would be 4, no more than 5. I doubt he'd get 5. So I think Austin he decided what he wanted out of this, and I think he loves Atlanta. I think he loves the Braves. I don't think he wanted to go.
Yeah. So, Billy, you've got up there the graphic, and the Braves, or at least let me put it this way, Alex Anthopoulos, this guy's not stupid. He didn't fall off a turnip truck. And although he's never thrown Liberty Media under the bus the way I do, he knows that they can't go toe-to-toe financially with the Yankees, the Dodgers, now the Padres. He simply is not being given those kind of resources. So what he has done is he's gone out ahead of what you would call the natural curve. And these 4 on this graphic right here, look at them. They're signed long-term. And he did that because he knew if they ever got to free agency, all hell would break loose.
Yeah, when I think of Alex Anthopoulos, George, one word comes to mind, and it's sustainable. He has a sustainable mindset with this franchise, and that's what he's been doing ever since he got here. Now maybe, yes, Freddie Freeman gets let go, all that drama happens, but you look at some of these numbers, Matt Olson, 8 years, Riley, 10 years, and you still got Acuna and Albies for 8 years and 7 years. So, I mean, those are huge contracts. Now, maybe there's going to be some drama with Acuna, maybe Albies with the financial, the digits there.
Albies got screwed.
Yeah, I look at that, and I don't know if he's not going to be here 7 more years.
Well, I think the word is renegotiate. At some point, both he and Acuna are going to roll in there, Watson, and say, we got duped.
I wouldn't be surprised if Acuna's already done that.
I wouldn't either.
Today. So
no, that's where this is leading. It opened the door for those two to go back in and say, wait a minute now. And so they're going to get up. It won't be immediate probably because you can't afford it, Braves, but they're going to get up here in the next year or two, especially if they both come back really like they were before they both got injured.
Okay, now here is, what I've given you so far is a big Braves pep rally. Okay. And that's kind of the way I want it. But there is a storm cloud looming in all this.
Dansby.
Yes, and that is that Dansby Swanson is a free agent at the end of the year. And the Braves elected not to try to go this route with him. And look, I'm not saying I disagree with the decision because up till this season, Dansby had been a very streaky hitter, incredible defensively, good team leader. But now all of a sudden, Watson, he's put the hitting part of it in. If the season ended today, he would be in the top 10 in the National League MVP voting. Now, I think Austin Riley would win it, either him or Paul Goldschmidt. But the bottom line is this is going to be a big issue near the end of the year and into free agency.
Yes, it will be. And what it shows me is times have changed. In the old days, the shortstop would get big bucks and didn't have to be a great hitter.
Yeah.
And now it's changed. They don't do that anymore. He's a great shortstop. He's an inconsistent hitter right now, hot, but inconsistent. Why would you care? He's a great shortstop. I would get the guy signed, but again, that's me. And I don't understand the thinking how they've left that as defense first in a shortstop, not hitter first in a shortstop.
After this season, you got to believe he'll be back in Atlanta next year. I mean, you feel like they've got to find a way. But then again, I agree with Watson. The value of a good defensive shortstop has gone down a lot. I mean, you remember the days of Cal Ripken Jr. I mean, that Derek Jeter. There's not really that mold of player left anymore. I mean, you've got good shortstops, but the value's gone down. So maybe not.
Well, this is going to be the issue however their season ends. And by the way, for those of us who are ready to just anoint them the division winner, not so fast. A week ago, they had a half game, I want to say this right, half game deficit. Now that deficit is 3.5. And tonight, Watson, this is the last piece of this. The Mets go front and center stage because Jacob deGrom makes his debut, and we're all going to be watching to see, is he anywhere close to what he was when he got hurt, which was the best starting pitcher in the National League?
Yeah, and is he healthy after the start? How does he feel after his first start? I think there's some question marks tonight that won't get answered completely. But we're going to be able to tell if he's got his stuff or not, George. He's got – I mean, it just that ball comes out of his hand live, and you're going to be able to see that or not see it. And if he's back, look out. I think the Braves have got a tough route to go.
Okay, after the break, more dollar issues. We'll talk about former Titan wide receiver A.J. Brown and the comments he made yesterday. This is Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. Welcome back in. Busy Tuesday afternoon. Holy cow, has there been a bunch hit the wire, and who knows, before the trade deadline ends, right as we go off the air, there's no telling what else may happen. But there was a big free agent signing, not free agent, but a big signing in the NFL Sunday night that got lost in the shuffle because of the Deshaun Watson suspension, and that is the deal with Deebo Samuel. We knew the 49ers were going to do everything in their power to get that done. And Watson, before it was over, $73 million is at the top of what Deebo Samuel could end up making. Good for him, probably good for the 49ers. He's incredibly versatile. But it also brought some comments from former Titan wide receiver A.J. Brown, essentially saying, hey, what he got is what I wanted. Give me some thoughts on what he said.
Well, and it goes further than that, because there were 3 guys that have gotten this, all in AJ's class. Samuel got it. Metcalf got it from Seattle. He played the power play. He got it and stayed in Seattle. And then the kid, what's the kid's name at Washington? That got it. Yes.
Terry McLaurin.
All 3 of those guys were in AJ's class. Metcalf and AJ were teammates at Ole Miss. Believe it or not, how do you have those 2 guys on the same team in college? But anyway, they got it, and the only one that made the power play that got it, but he had to be traded to get it. And I think that's what's in AJ's crawl, and I think he's saying, I'm the one catching the grief here. I didn't do anything different than my other classmates did. They all got it, and I got traded, and I'm the bad guy. So that's the way I look at what AJ's saying here.
Okay. Do you think he's right?
Well, there's been people say AJ asked for more than what those guys got now. So we don't really know the answer to that. But I think it's going to play out. If you're a big Titans fan, how do you look at this? Do you say, well, these other 3 gave these guys the deal. We didn't give our guy the deal. So is he not as good as the other 3 in the Titans' eyes? Do they think that they didn't have the money they could do this? What do you figure caused the Titans just to jump up and trade him before the draft? Was it that they just absolutely loved Treylon Burks that much and thought they could get him? I don't know. I'm not taking shots at the Titans at all. I just think there's questions here that if we were in the room and we were making this decision, would we have gone the way the Titans went, George, or would we have gone the way these other 3 franchises went and signed their guys?
Okay. First of all, we have to admit that we don't have the information in front of us that John Robinson did.
Absolutely.
We don't know, for instance, did the A.J. Brown camp throw a number out there that was so wacko that Robinson had no choice? That's the first thing.
Yes.
The second thing is, it's easy right now to say, look, this is unfair to put on a rookie from Arkansas to just say, flip the switch and you've got to be as good as A.J. Brown. Because the one thing I know, A.J. Brown was a hoss. And he was a huge chunk of their passing attack.
The last 2 years.
Yeah. Julio had been for most of the year, non-existent.
He was, if he didn't have the name with it, he was a total bust.
Right.
All because of injury.
So my point is that A.J. Brown did what he did with defenses stacked, knowing full well that he was option 1, he was option 2, he was probably option 2B, and they had tight ends that they had turned their offense for tight ends into Gerber's baby food. It was basically go down 4 yards, turn around, boom. That's all they did with their tight ends. So Brown did it with defenses knowing that he was all there was.
Yes, but I'll take up for that a little bit, because they could run the ball so well, especially 2 years ago, that he got the one-on-one coverages that he didn't get double teamed for a different reason than what you're saying. He still got that single coverage, and I think he's going to miss that when he goes to Philadelphia, and now he's at Philadelphia. And I still that last play of the playoffs, when they don't take the ball to him.
That was unbelievable.
I just wonder if that isn't in back of his head, do they really think I am that guy? And George, I've harped about this now for 5 months. Why in the world are we not throwing the ball to AJ? Why isn't he that one-on-one receiver over there, getting that coverage in that set instead of the guy we threw it to? Because the guy we threw it to got overplayed because they didn't respect his speed, in my opinion. They got flat. They sat on the chains and said, we're going to take our shot. We're not going to let you curl up and make an easy first down here because we can run with you if you try to run by me. And so I wonder if that's not a little piece of this. I'm not taking shots at the Titans at all, but there could be a lot to this deal with AJ gone, in my opinion. Other thing I'd throw out there, did the Titans try to – if AJ threw a higher number than these guys got, did the Titans try to negotiate with AJ's people and knock it down to about this price and then sign him? You just don't see your best player at receiver just all of a sudden quickly traded like the Titans did. That's out of the norm. And here's 3 others in his class that got signed and AJ didn't. So to me, there's got to be more than meets the eye, and I'm not taking shots at either side. I just think there's stuff out there we don't know.
Yeah, I found some stuff on CBS Sports. Brown was quoted to ESPN saying, "This wasn't my fault. I wanted to stay, but the deal they offered was a low offer. The deal they offered wasn't even $20 million a year." And then Brown told ESPN that Tennessee's offer topped out at $16 million per season with incentives that would have driven the deal up to a $20 million average. Brown said, "I would have stayed if they offered me $22 million." So $22 million as opposed to $16 million.
You know what it feels like?
What?
Freddie Freeman.
Kind of does.
I don't know that we're ever going to get the whole story because you get a lot of he said, she said,
yep.
And then you have to try to decide, okay,
Yep.
what really is the truth? And is it somewhere in the middle between the two? And it has sort of a Freddie Freeman feel to it.
And it is for AJ Brown. We're all in agreement. He is in that tier with that class.
He's a stud
with DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin. He belongs there.
By the way, my pick last night was pretty studly.
That was a pretty good pick, George. I made sure I checked the score late last night.
Watson, did you check the score?
I did this morning, I'll have to admit.
Really?
Good job.
Well, let me take this a step farther.
Let George get hot.
I watched the game.
Oh,
I don't believe that.
Oh, I did.
You watched the
He'd watch an inning, sleep 3, watch another inning, sleep 3.
No, that was not until
that's
later.
his watch a game after 9 o'clock.
That was not until the Dodgers and the Giants later. Anyway, Plaster Bet of the Day, where you make money. Right, whatever. Is coming up next. This is Main Street Media Television.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local, and I think Main Street Media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years. And keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers, and that's what I like about Main Street Media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrate on local subjects, local topics, and you'll bring your readers in.
This is going to be fun. Right, Watson?
Oh, absolutely. Let's hear it.
Well, Billy, why don't you take us through the particulars?
All right, George. Well, first off, forgot to get to the 5 o'clock hour read. Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint is the sponsor. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere, whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or a major joint replacement. Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Their mission is to provide high-quality, specialized orthopedic care in a compassionate manner to the people of Columbia and Middle Tennessee. Visit mtbj.net for more info. And George, we got to go over your results. Big win last night. He's pulled through. You are now 6-8 and 2 wins away from becoming Jeff Fisher's 8-8. How does that feel?
I don't think Jeff would appreciate that.
I mean, if you get to 8-8, that's an accomplishment.
It'd be good. But I mean, we're in the infancy.
So are we in a 162 game season here?
Well, we might be. I mean, look, first of all, football will start to play into this
heavily.
And I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but right now we're at 6-8. It's not where we want to be, but it's an improvement over 3-7.
No doubt. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. You've made it all the way back to 6-8.
Okay. So Monday night, the Yankees got it done. They scored a bunch early. And so tonight's a big one. This is where, Watson, we try to get real respectability. And you know what? Here's where we're going with it. Look at that old logo. Okay, I made Billy put this old logo into it. And this is This is back when the Astros played in the Astrodome. Bottom line is this. I don't think Houston's going to lose 2 in a row at home to the Red Sox. They got beat last night. Nathan Eovaldi pitched really well. Crawford, I'll believe it when I see it. Watson, your reaction, go Astros.
Well, I'm old enough to tell you that I coached in the Astrodome, played games in the Astrodome, so that tells you how old I am. I think it's a good pick. Houston's not going to lose 2 in a row. I agree with you 100%, and they're at home. I like the pick. I think we're going 7 and 8, yes.
I think we are as well. I'm very fired up. I may be watching. Who knows? Couple of notes before we get out of here. Tomorrow, you will hear from Herm Edwards, Arizona State football coach. Always excited when Herm is involved. And I want to congratulate a guy that we had on the show the first week of the season, Paul DeYoung. At the time, he was a Memphis Redbird. He had gotten sent down by the parent club, the St. Louis Cardinals, but everybody knew that at some point he's going to figure it out and catch fire. Well, he got called back up to the big club on Saturday, has played 2 games, hit 2 homers. Way to go, Paul DeYoung. How about that?
Attaboy, Paul. That's good to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thanks to all of you for joining us today. For Watson Brown, for Billy Derrick, and a cast of thousands, George Plaster saying, you've been watching Main Street Media Television.